Act as if you are already chosen for greatness. For the truth is, you have been chosen long before you ever took your first breath. Greatness is not something that waits for your permission. It has been woven into the very fabric of your being. You are not here by accident. You are here because life itself desired to express something magnificent through you. The dream you carry is not a coincidence. It is your divine assignment. When you act as if you are already chosen, you shift from hoping to knowing. You stop waiting for signs, for validation, for opportunities to prove your worth. You begin to live from the awareness that the power that created worlds has already placed its seal upon your name. You stop asking, "Will this happen for me?" and start declaring, "It is already done." You begin to walk, speak, and think as one who has already been anointed by destiny. You see, greatness doesn't arrive from outside of you. It awakens from within. It is not earned. It is realized. You do not have to convince the world that you are worthy of it. You must simply convince yourself that you are already chosen. For the moment you accept that truth, everything around you begins to rearrange itself to mirror that belief. The doors you thought were locked begin to open. The people you need begin to appear. The opportunities you were searching for begin to flow toward you. To act as if you are chosen is to speak from authority, not from doubt. It is to rise in the morning and say to yourself, "I am the one. I am the vessel through which something great will unfold." Not out of arrogance, but out of divine remembrance. For humility is not thinking less of yourself. It is thinking of yourself truthfully, as one through whom the infinite has chosen to express its power. Every thought you entertain, every word you speak, every emotion you allow, these are declarations to the universe of what you believe yourself to be. When you see yourself as chosen, your inner world transforms first. And when the inner world changes, the outer must follow. The world cannot resist the one who moves with certainty. It must bend itself to match your assumption of being chosen. You do not wait for greatness to come to you. You act from greatness now. When you speak, let your words carry the weight of one who knows that destiny is already in motion. When you walk, let your steps be steady and assured, for the path is already prepared. When you dream, dream as one who knows that every vision within you is a divine promise waiting to be fulfilled. To act as if you are chosen is to stop comparing your journey to others. You no longer measure your worth by their progress. You stop asking why it hasn't happened yet and begin to trust that divine timing is never late. The delay is not denial, it is preparation. The unseen hand is arranging the circumstances aligning the people, preparing the way. What seems like waiting is only the maturing of your own awareness of being chosen. The chosen one doesn't beg for attention. They attract it. They do not chase opportunities. They magnetize them. For when you carry the consciousness of being chosen, your energy shifts. You move differently. You think differently. You attract differently. You are no longer trying to become something. You are embodying what you already are. Every challenge that arises, every obstacle that seems to stand in your way, is not there to stop you, but to reveal you. Greatness is not tested in ease, it is refined in resistance. When the world seems to close in, remind yourself, I have already been chosen. That simple awareness will carry you through storms, through doubt, through the silence of unseen progress. There will be moments when it feels like nothing is happening. You will question if you are truly meant for what you feel within. But in those moments, the truth is doing its deepest work. You are being stretched, shaped, and strengthened for what you already carry. The promise doesn't vanish in stillness. It grows roots there. The chosen one is patient because they understand that even the silence is sacred. You may not see the full picture now, but the unseen world has already arranged it. The path is unfolding even when your eyes can't perceive it. The chosen one walks by inner conviction, not outer evidence. That is the mystery of faith, to act as though it is already done, even when nothing yet confirms it. The moment you assume your chosen nature, the entire universe conspires to make it so. Life begins to respond to your inner posture. You will notice coincidences, synchronicities, divine nudges, all signs that the invisible world is echoing your belief. This is not magic, this is law. You become what you assume yourself to be. The chosen one does not seek to be understood. They move with quiet certainty. They no longer argue with limitation or plead for validation. They no longer doubt their calling because of temporary circumstances. They have learned to rest in the unseen reality that all things are already theirs in spirit, awaiting their recognition. To act as if you are already chosen is to live in gratitude before the manifestation appears. Gratitude is not the response to the blessing, it is the magnet that draws it forth. When you wake, give thanks not for what is coming, but for what already is. Give thanks for the unseen support, the answered prayers, the alignment already unfolding behind the veil. That vibration of gratitude tells the universe, I already know I am chosen, and the universe echoes back, so it is. Look around you with new eyes. Every small blessing, every encounter, every moment of stillness, they are all confirmations of your chosen state. When you understand this, you stop striving. You start allowing. You let life flow through you because you know it is not happening to you. It is happening for you and more deeply through you. Even your past, with all its pain, was part of the preparation. Every heartbreak, every closed door, every detour. It was refining your awareness, carving space for the greatness within to emerge. You were never rejected. You were redirected. You were never forgotten. You were being forged. The chosen one must be purified because the weight of destiny requires strength of spirit. So now, act as if you are already chosen. Speak as if you are already blessed. Move as if every step is ordered. Because it is. The world will reflect your conviction. The moment you declare within, I am chosen, life begins to unfold around you in harmony with that declaration. What once seemed impossible becomes natural. What once seemed distant becomes near. What once seemed hard becomes effortless. You are not waiting to be chosen. You are awakening to the fact that you already are. Greatness is not coming. It is already here, whispering within your heart, calling you higher. The time is not tomorrow, it is now. The moment you live from the consciousness of being chosen, the universe must obey your belief. To act as if you are already chosen for greatness is to step into a state of divine remembrance. It is not pretending, not delusion, not wishful thinking. It is spiritual certainty. It is knowing that what you feel within is not a fantasy, but a preview of what already exists in the unseen realm. You are not hoping for it to be true. You are awakening to the fact that it has always been true. The world only mirrors what you have accepted about yourself, and so the moment you embrace your chosenness, life begins to echo it back in form. You do not wait for others to recognize your greatness. You recognize it yourself. For the world can only mirror what you hold within. You cannot be treated as chosen until you see yourself as chosen. Every outer event in your life, every person you meet, every door that opens or closes, they are all reflections of your inner assumption. And when your assumption changes, your entire world rearranges itself with mathematical precision. Greatness does not shout, it emanates. It is a quiet power that flows from deep self-assurance. You can feel it in someone who knows who they are. They do not need to prove themselves. They do not need to explain. They do not chase, they attract. That is the mark of one who knows they are chosen. They move through life as though they already possess the thing they once prayed for. They think from the end, not toward it. They act from fulfillment, not longing. And as you practice this inner knowing, something extraordinary happens. The gap between what you imagine and what you experience begins to close. Time bends. Opportunities emerge. People who had overlooked you suddenly take notice. Circumstances align in ways that defy logic. It is not luck, it is law. The law that says the outer must always conform to the inner image you consistently hold. To live as if you are chosen is to release the need to force outcomes. You do not need to manipulate or hustle your way into alignment. You simply hold the vision and embody its truth now. You speak success before it appears. You walk in confidence before the crowd applauds. You feel abundance before the money comes. And in that faith-filled posture, the invisible world goes to work on your behalf. Do not concern yourself with the how. The how is not your business. Your task is to maintain the feeling of being chosen, no matter what the outer world presents. You are not reacting to appearances. You are creating through consciousness. When you hold to your inner vision with unwavering conviction, even when all evidence contradicts it, you exercise the very power that forms worlds. That is true faith. That is the secret of all manifestation, to assume the state of the wish fulfilled and persist in it until it hardens into fact. Imagine a king before he ascends the throne. He does not wait for the crown to believe he is royal. He acts, thinks, and feels as royalty before the world recognizes it. So too, you must occupy the throne of your own destiny before life hands it to you. You must walk as the chosen before anyone else sees it. That inner coronation is what brings the outer one. When you wake each morning, remind yourself, I am chosen. Let that be the first vibration of your day. Let it color your thoughts, your speech, your behavior. Do not move from fear. Do not act from lack. Do not speak from doubt. Let every action be born from the awareness that greatness has already selected you. And when fear tries to whisper its old stories, when it tells you that you are not ready, not worthy, not enough, you simply reply, that is not my truth anymore. You have no idea how powerful you become when you stop identifying with your limitations. The moment you shift your identification from victim to chosen one, everything changes. Your posture changes. Your energy shifts. You begin to operate from a higher frequency of certainty. And that frequency is what calls forth divine alignment. The right people begin to show up, not because you chase them, but because your vibration matches theirs. Acting as if you are chosen means that you no longer argue for your limitations. You stop saying, I can't, I don't know how, it's too late, it's too hard. The chosen one never speaks defeat. They know that words are seeds, and every word planted must bring forth its fruit. So, they speak life. They speak victory. They speak as if the promise is already fulfilled. For every word carries the energy of assumption, and your assumptions create your experience. You begin to realize that every single experience you have ever lived was preparation. Every disappointment, every loss, every closed door was carving you into the vessel that could hold greatness. The chosen one is not fragile. They are forged. You were being shaped in silence, strengthened through struggle, purified through waiting. There is nothing wasted about your story. The universe wastes nothing. Even your mistakes have become the soil from which your purpose will bloom. When you understand this, you stop resenting your past. You begin to see divine intelligence woven through every detail of your life. You stop asking, "Why did that happen to me?" and start declaring, "That happened for me." Every moment was a stepping stone to awaken the awareness of your chosenness. You could not have known it before because you had to live through the contrast that made you recognize it. The chosen one walks differently because they see differently. They know that life responds not to effort, but to awareness. You could toil endlessly and achieve nothing if your consciousness contradicts your desire. But one moment of alignment, one deep conviction of being chosen, and everything begins to accelerate. That is why some people achieve with ease what others strive for their entire lives. They have assumed the state of being chosen and moved as if it were already true. To act as if you are chosen is to live from the end. It is to feel the fulfillment before the evidence. It is to embody the result before the result appears. You must walk into rooms as though the opportunity is already yours. You must speak as though the world is already listening. You must give thanks as though the dream is already manifested. Because it is. The unseen always precedes the seen. In the unseen realm, the moment you accept your chosenness, the manifestation begins. But your outer reality will only catch up when you remain faithful to that inner truth. That is why persistence is the secret ingredient. Not forceful striving, but gentle, unwavering persistence in your chosen identity. You will be tested, not by others, but by appearances. When things seem to fall apart, that is your cue to hold your assumption even tighter. You must remind yourself, this too is part of the unfolding. I am still chosen. Nothing can alter what is already decreed in spirit. Greatness is not granted to the impatient. It is revealed to the steadfast. The chosen one understands that what is delayed is not denied. It is only being refined in the unseen. When the outer conditions seem slow, the chosen one rejoices, for they know that the roots are growing deeper beneath the surface. Faith is not tested when things go well. It is tested in the silence, in the seeming stillness. And those who remain faithful through the silence always emerge, shining brighter than before. You are not waiting for a sign. You are the sign. The mere fact that the desire for greatness burns within you is proof that it already exists for you. Desire is the echo of destiny. It is your future calling you home. If it were not meant for you, you would not have felt it. Your longing is not a curse, it is confirmation. The universe plants the dream only in the heart capable of fulfilling it. So, stop doubting your worthiness. Stop asking if you are enough. The chosen one knows that worthiness is not earned, it is inherited. You came into this world worthy. You came carrying divine authority. You do not have to prove yourself to life. You have to remember yourself. That remembrance is your awakening. And once you awaken, you realize that everything you seek is already yours in consciousness. Let every action you take from this moment be an expression of that remembrance. When you speak, let your words come from the consciousness of power. When you walk, let your steps echo the confidence of divine purpose. When you think, let your thoughts be soaked in assurance that you are already the one chosen to carry this light. The vibration of that knowing will go before you and prepare the way. You must understand that life is not happening to you. It is happening through you. You are not a spectator in this divine play. You are the main actor. When you assume your chosen role, the entire scene adjusts to match your part. The supporting characters, the settings, the events, they all shift in alignment with your inner decision. The moment you decide you are chosen, the script of your life begins to rewrite itself. And yes, there will be those who will not understand your confidence. They will call it pride. They will question your certainty. But do not be moved. The chosen one does not need the approval of the crowd. They are moved only by inner conviction. They know that the same source that called them will vindicate them. Their faith is their evidence. Their certainty is their foundation. When you begin to act as if you are chosen, you become unshakable. You are no longer tossed by outer appearances. You no longer fear loss, because you know you cannot lose what is divinely yours. You no longer chase opportunities, because you know what belongs to you must find you. You no longer beg for favor, because you are the embodiment of it. You begin to live from overflow, not from lack. And as you remain faithful to this inner truth, you will see life unfold in miraculous ways. People will ask how you did it, and you will smile, knowing that it was never about doing. It was about being. The moment you accepted your chosenness, the entire universe rearranged itself to reflect that acceptance. That is the power of assumption. Your imagination is your portal. You must see yourself as the one already chosen, already blessed, already walking in the fullness of your destiny. Do not see it as a distant dream. See it as your current reality. Feel the joy of it. Feel the power of it. Feel the gratitude of already living it. The feeling of the wish fulfilled is the secret key. The moment you feel it real, it becomes real. So go on. Speak your truth before it's visible. Walk in your greatness before it's acknowledged. Give thanks before it arrives. And watch how quickly the outer world bows to your inner conviction. For you were never waiting to be chosen. You were always the chosen one, simply waiting to remember. So now, stand tall in the knowing that you are already chosen. Let that truth saturate every breath, every thought, every movement. Do not wait another moment for permission, for signs, for validation. The universe has already written your name in the scrolls of destiny. Walk as if every path is clear before you, because in truth it is. Speak as if the mountains have already moved, because within you they have. You are not reaching for greatness. You are the expression of it. Let your life be the proof that faith made visible, that assumption made real. And from this day forward, live not as one who hopes to be chosen, but as one who finally remembers. They always were. Act as if you are already living in abundance. Let this truth sink deeply into your spirit. The moment you begin to act from the state of abundance, the unseen forces of life begin to move in your favor. You stop chasing and start attracting. You stop worrying and start knowing. For abundance is not something you strive to get. It is something you awaken to. You were never meant to live in lack. You were meant to live in overflow. The supply is not outside of you. It is within your own consciousness. When you act as if you already have what you desire, you align yourself with the vibration of fulfillment. You speak, walk, and think from the awareness that all things are already provided. You stop pleading with life and begin commanding it with faith. The mind that dwells in lack cannot receive abundance, but the mind that lives from abundance creates it everywhere. You begin to see that every desire is a divine invitation to remember who you truly are, a limitless being connected to an infinite source. To live as if you are already abundant is to see beauty where others see emptiness. It is to give thanks before the harvest, to smile when there's no reason, and to feel rich even when your pockets are empty. The secret is not in having things, but in feeling the reality of already being supplied. For what you feel deeply becomes the world you live in. Every image you hold, every emotion you entertain, sends a silent command to creation. And the universe, being perfectly obedient, mirrors back the state you persist in. You must no longer look at appearances as your authority. Appearances are temporary shadows cast by old thoughts. They cannot define you, and they cannot predict your future. You are greater than any bank account, any paycheck, or any possession. You are the very consciousness through which all things are made manifest. When you recognize this truth, you stop reacting to the world and begin recreating it from within. You understand that abundance begins not with earning, but with being aware, being grateful, being full. When you start to act from this state, everything around you subtly begins to change. Opportunities appear where there were none. Doors open that you never noticed before. People start to respond differently, as though something about you has shifted. And it has. The moment you accept yourself as abundant, your world reorganizes itself to prove you right. For life always reflects the image you hold of yourself. If you see yourself as lacking, life will confirm it. If you see yourself as overflowing, life will multiply it. There is no magic outside of you, only the creative power of your own inner assumption. Feel what it would feel like to already have what you long for. Let that feeling live in your heart until it becomes natural. Walk as one who has already received. Speak as one who knows their worth. When you look around, don't see what's missing. See what's coming. Every thought impregnated with gratitude gives birth to new blessings. Every act done with joy multiplies in return. Abundance is a state of consciousness, not a sum of possessions. There are people with riches who still live in scarcity, and there are people with little who radiate endless wealth. The difference lies not in the outer, but in the inner feeling of having enough. Once you dwell in that feeling, lack loses its power over you. You no longer fear tomorrow, because you have already stepped into the reality where all is well. Every morning, before you face the world, remind yourself, I am already abundant. Everything I need flows to me in perfect timing. Feel those words. Let them sink in until they become a living truth. When challenges arise, do not revert to fear. Instead, respond as the abundant being you already are. Say to yourself, this too shall prosper me, because even what looks like a setback is just the rearrangement of circumstances to bring you closer to your manifestation. Stop waiting for abundance to come and start living as if it's already here. Dress like it, think like it, give like it, love like it. Generosity is the language of abundance. The more you pour out from a full heart, the more life rushes to fill the space you've created. Do not hoard or hesitate, for fear of losing is the child of scarcity. When you give freely, you declare to the universe, "I have more than enough." And that declaration becomes a law in your experience. Abundance is not a future event. It is a present awareness. It's the invisible river always flowing beneath your life, waiting for your recognition. The moment you act as if you already live in overflow, the river rises to meet you. You will find joy in simple things, and even your smallest actions will carry the fragrance of prosperity. The smile you give, the gratitude you express, the kindness you extend, all of it multiplies the wealth of your being. The more you focus on what is right, the more right things appear. The more you bless what you have, the more reasons you'll find to bless. Gratitude is the magnet of miracles. It transforms ordinary days into treasure and simple moments into gold. When you live with that awareness, you walk through the world as a creator, not a beggar. You cease asking, "When will I be blessed?" and start declaring, "I already am." Life always meets you at the level of your belief. The world is not withholding anything from you. It is waiting for you to claim it. When you act as if you already live in abundance, you open yourself to receive the infinite supply that has always been yours. You will notice synchronicities, coincidences, and unexpected provisions. You'll find yourself being guided, supported, and elevated, not by chance, but by the power of your inner assumption. So dwell now in that invisible state of fulfillment. See yourself surrounded by beauty, ease, and overflowing good. Let your imagination become your dwelling place. It is there that you shape the unseen substance of tomorrow. Act from it, speak from it, feel from it, and soon it will crystallize in form. You are not becoming abundant. You are remembering that you always have been. The treasure was never outside. It was hidden in the stillness of your own awareness, waiting to be claimed through the act of faith. Act as if you are already living in abundance, and you will begin to see that abundance was never something to be chased, but something to be revealed. It is not about waiting for a change in circumstances. It is about awakening to the truth that you are the source from which all circumstances flow. The abundance you seek is already vibrating in your energy field, waiting for your acknowledgement. When you decide to feel abundant before any evidence appears, you summon the unseen power that transforms reality itself. To act as if means to live from the end. To think and behave as though the thing you desire is already a completed fact. It is not pretense, and it is not fantasy. It is faith made visible through feeling. When you feel wealthy, Even before wealth arrives, you are no longer bound by appearances. You begin to live by the inner law that says, "As within, so without." This law cannot fail. Whatever you assume with persistence must eventually harden into fact. The world around you is not separate from you. It is a mirror reflecting your dominant thoughts and feelings. When you live in the state of abundance within, the mirror of life must return that same image in form. But if you live in lack, if you constantly affirm that you do not have enough, you unknowingly command the world to echo that limitation back to you. Therefore, you must rise in consciousness above appearances and claim abundance as your birthright. Feel it as if it were already true, and the world will rearrange itself to prove your belief correct. Begin each day by feeling rich in spirit. Imagine yourself surrounded by overflowing good. Let gratitude be your first language and confidence your posture. When you walk, walk as one who owns the land beneath their feet. When you speak, speak from authority, not need. When you think, think from sufficiency, not shortage. This is how you attune your vibration to the frequency of abundance. It is through deliberate embodiment of that state, regardless of what your outer world shows. The moment you shift your inner state, everything begins to change. You start noticing blessings where you once saw problems. You find new doors opening, new connections forming, new paths unfolding. Why? Because your energy has changed. You have become the vibration of plenty, and everything that matches that vibration begins to flow towards you. What you used to chase now begins to chase you. What you once hoped for now becomes inevitable. This is not luck. It is law. When you act as if you already live in abundance, fear loses its grip on you. You no longer act from desperation or anxiety. You no longer wonder how or when things will happen. You simply know they will, because you have already received them in consciousness. You begin to rest in faith, and that rest is the secret of manifestation. It is the silence of certainty that draws all things to you effortlessly. Abundance cannot coexist with fear. One must replace the other. To act from abundance is to trust the invisible supply more than visible facts. You may not yet see the money, the opportunity, or the support. But if you feel that they are already yours, the unseen will soon take shape in the seen. Every form of wealth begins as a feeling. Feel it deeply enough, consistently enough, and life has no choice but to reflect it. You must understand that abundance is not just about finances. It is about consciousness. A truly abundant soul radiates wealth in every area: love, peace, health, creativity, joy. Money is merely one expression of that inner fullness. When you live as if you are already abundant, You invite prosperity into your relationships, your work, your ideas, and your body. The light of sufficiency touches everything you do. You become magnetic to opportunities because people can feel the wholeness within you. Every time you say, "I can't afford that," or "I don't have enough," you reinforce the illusion of lack. But every time you say, "I am provided for," you align yourself with the truth of abundance. Your words are seeds, and your emotions are the water that makes them grow. Be mindful of what you speak, for every declaration shapes your experience. Speak life, speak wealth, speak gratitude. Let no complaint escape your lips, for complaining keeps you tied to scarcity. Living in abundance is a discipline of perception. You must train your mind to see the fullness that already surrounds you. Look at the sunrise, the air, the laughter, the small blessings that color your day. These are all forms of abundance. When you appreciate them deeply, you amplify that frequency within you. Gratitude multiplies what you focus on. The moment you give thanks for what you have, you open the door for more to come. To act as if you already live in abundance means that you do not postpone joy. You do not wait for the car, the home, or the success to feel fulfilled. You choose to feel it now, knowing that the feeling is the cause and the experience is the effect. You are no longer a victim of circumstances, but a conscious creator of them. You walk in the unseen wealth of your imagination until it becomes visible wealth in your reality. Imagination is your invisible treasury. Every image you hold in your mind and feel as real plants the seed of your future. When you imagine from the feeling of having, not from the feeling of wanting, you activate the creative power that shapes worlds. Close your eyes and feel yourself already possessing everything you desire. How does it feel? What does your life look like? What do you say? How do you act? How do you move? Live from that inner movie daily, and life will conform to it. Do not be deceived by temporary conditions. What you see now is only the residue of past thoughts. It has no authority over what's coming next. The new reality is being formed in the silence of your present assumption. Keep your faith fixed on abundance, even when appearances scream lack. The unseen is more powerful than the seen. Hold the feeling of wealth, and the evidence will come. When you act as if you already have everything, you start to release resistance. You stop trying to force outcomes and begin to allow them. You trust that what you desire is already on its way. That trust creates peace, and that peace is the magnet of manifestation. The universe does not respond to struggle, it responds to alignment. The moment you relax into the feeling of already having, your desire moves closer. You are never tested by life, you are only shown yourself. When you face financial challenges, it is not punishment, it is an invitation to embody abundance more deeply. Each challenge is a mirror reflecting what you still believe about yourself. Use it as a reminder to choose faith over fear, sufficiency over scarcity. Declare to yourself, I am not limited by this. I live in an infinite universe, and all that I need is already mine. And soon, that truth will rewrite your experience. Abundance flows where appreciation grows. The more you honor what you have, the more life gives you to honor. It is impossible to live abundantly while focusing on what's missing. Shift your gaze from lack to gratitude, from worry to wonder, from scarcity to sufficiency. Say thank you often. Whisper it under your breath. Say it for the simplest things: a meal, a conversation, a moment of rest. Each thank you is a key unlocking another door of blessing. Acting as if also means giving as if you already have more than enough. The world of the generous expands, while the world of the stingy contracts. When you give, you are declaring abundance in motion. You say to the universe, I trust in my supply. I know there is more where this came from. This trust opens the channels of receiving. It keeps the river of wealth flowing freely through your life. Stop measuring your worth by possessions or status. You are abundance itself clothed in form. Everything you seek outside already exists within you in potential. When you embody that truth, you become unstoppable. You no longer need validation or approval, because you have tapped into the eternal source of sufficiency. That source never runs dry. It is not dependent on economy, timing, or luck. It flows from the infinite within you. Begin to feel rich in every sense of the word. Feel the richness of your breath, your thoughts, your dreams. Feel the richness of connection, creativity, and purpose. When you dwell in this awareness, money, opportunities, and relationships begin to appear naturally. You attract by resonance, not by effort. Life mirrors the song your heart is singing. Let that song be one of abundance, ease, and joy. The secret to living as if is consistency. Do not dip in and out of belief. Dwell in it until it becomes your natural state. When doubt arises, don't fight it, replace it. Say to yourself, I already live in abundance. Everything I desire is already prepared for me. Repeat it until you feel it. The repetition of faith reshapes the subconscious mind. Once your subconscious accepts abundance as truth, nothing can stop it from manifesting. The mind may try to argue, but I don't see it yet. Ignore that voice. The mind speaks from memory. The spirit speaks from truth. Choose the voice of truth. Feel the unseen as more real than the seen. Live from the end, and the beginning will rearrange itself. Every miracle begins with someone who dared to act as if it were already done. Your faith must not depend on circumstances, for circumstances are only reflections of past faith. The moment you stop needing proof, proof appears. You will find yourself guided to the right people, places, and moments. You'll be inspired to take actions that lead to breakthroughs. But these actions will not come from desperation. They will flow from inspiration. You will act because you feel full, not because you feel empty. That is the essence of abundance, to act from fullness, to live as though nothing is missing, to know that every step you take is blessed, every word you speak is creative, and every moment is rich with possibility. Even the silence between thoughts is filled with potential. You are surrounded by unseen wealth, waiting for your recognition. When you act as if you already live in abundance, you start carrying yourself differently. You stand taller, you speak clearer, you smile more. You begin to treat yourself with respect, and that self-respect changes everything. You attract situations and people that match your elevated state. Your confidence radiates energy that others can feel. It is not arrogance. It is the quiet knowing of one who remembers their divine inheritance. Do not be afraid to dream bigger. The infinite source within you does not measure limits. The only limits are the ones you impose through doubt or unworthiness. You are worthy of every good thing you can imagine. The very desire within you is proof that fulfillment already exists. Desires are not random. They are messages from your higher self, guiding you to your next level of expression. So honor your desires by believing in them. Act as though they are already realized. Live from the state of completion, not from the state of waiting. Every time you imagine yourself as already fulfilled, you shift the invisible energy around you. You move from hoping to knowing, from wishing to being. And that shift is what moves mountains. You are not separate from abundance. You are its expression. Life through you wants to expand, to give, to create. When you live in harmony with that flow, everything begins to prosper. Ideas come effortlessly. Opportunities appear naturally, and joy becomes your daily atmosphere. You stop asking for blessings and start living as one. The key is inner conviction. The outer world cannot give you security if you do not first feel it within. But once you feel secure, once you feel abundant, the world mirrors it faithfully. That is the law of creation. You are always seeing yourself pushed out. What you believe about yourself determines how life treats you. Believe you are abundant, and abundance will bow before you. The life you dream of is not in the distance. It already exists in the unseen realm. The moment you align your feeling with it, you call it into being. You are not waiting for it. It is waiting for you to match its vibration. Step into it now. Think from it, feel from it, act from it. That is the secret of manifestation. Living from the end as if it were now. Every thought is a seed, and every feeling waters it. Choose your inner garden wisely. Nurture thoughts of sufficiency, gratitude, and joy. Pull out weeds of fear and doubt the moment they appear. Keep your inner world rich, and your outer world will reflect that richness. You are the gardener of your reality, and abundance is the natural harvest of your faith. Abundance has never been a distant promise. It is a present truth, waiting for your acceptance. When you act as if you are already living in it, you shift from the posture of asking to the authority of knowing. Life begins to move in harmony with your inner certainty. The invisible becomes visible. The imagined becomes real, and what was once hoped for becomes your natural way of being. You are not here to earn abundance. You are here to express it. You are not chasing blessings. You are awakening to them. Everything you desire is already within your reach, because it already lives within your consciousness. The key is to live each day from the end, to think, feel, and act as though the fullness of life already belongs to you. Walk through your world with quiet assurance. Let gratitude be your atmosphere and confidence your language. Give freely, love deeply, and trust completely. The universe responds not to your need, but to your knowing. And when you know that you are already abundant, life has no choice but to reflect that truth in endless ways. So begin now, live from the richness within you. See through the eyes of completion. Speak as one who already has, love as one who already is, and move as one who already reigns in the kingdom of sufficiency. The moment you do, everything around you will rise to meet the new vibration of your belief. You are abundance itself, alive, infinite, and complete. Act as if you already have the life you dream of. Act as if the wish has been fulfilled. Not tomorrow, not when the evidence appears, but now, in this very moment. Because the secret is this: the outer world always bends itself to the inner conviction. You are not waiting for your dream to come true. Your dream is waiting for you to awaken to it. You must begin to live inwardly in the end. If you desire abundance, walk through your day as though you already possess it. Feel the ease, the confidence, the gratitude that abundance brings. If you desire love, let yourself rest in the certainty that you are already deeply cherished. Feel the warmth of being chosen, the safety of being understood. Don't wish for it, be it. Your feeling is the seed, and your assumption is the soil. in which creation begins to grow. Every great change begins with an inner shift. You do not beg the universe for transformation, you embody it. You stop looking at what is and start seeing what must be. You stop reacting to appearances and begin to respond to imagination. It is not arrogance to act as if your dream is real. It is faith. It is the sacred agreement between you and the unseen that says, I trust the invisible more than I fear the visible. When you move through your life as though the miracle has already occurred, everything around you begins to reorganize itself. Doors open without your effort. People appear at the right time. The perfect idea drops into your mind like a whisper. What once felt distant becomes inevitable because you have already accepted it as truth within yourself. The world cannot resist the power of one who knows instead of hopes. Every emotion you feel is a creative command. When you imagine yourself as successful, free, loved, or healed, and you feel it, you are not daydreaming, you are constructing reality. Your imagination is not an escape, it is the workshop of creation. To act as if is not to pretend, it is to align. Pretending is hollow, alignment is power. Pretending says, I hope this works. Alignment says, it already has. You must learn to ignore the evidence that contradicts your desire. The world will always reflect your old assumptions until your new state is fully accepted within you. Do not be discouraged if things look unchanged. The unseen process is already in motion. Just as a seed grows beneath the soil before you ever see the sprout, your new life is taking root in the invisible. Keep watering it with faith, not doubt. The secret of transformation is to feel it real before it appears real. You cannot attract what you do not believe you already possess. If you want to be prosperous, you must think from abundance, not toward it. If you desire love, you must live from love, not from longing. Creation begins in consciousness, and consciousness only knows the now. So give your dream the gift of your present belief. Close your eyes and see yourself living the life you desire. Don't analyze it, inhabit it. Let the feeling of it fill your entire being until it becomes more real than the world around you. Walk with that knowing through your day. Let it shape your tone, your posture, your expectations. Speak from it, think from it, breathe from it. When your inner world changes, the outer must follow. It has no choice. Many people wait to feel happy until circumstances change. But those who understand the law of life reverse the order they choose to feel happy. And then circumstances rearrange themselves to match that feeling. You do not wait for the victory to celebrate. You celebrate, and the victory appears. You do not wait for the door to open. You knock in faith, and it opens because of the conviction in your hand. To act as if you already have the life you dream of is to declare that your vision is the truth. And that time is merely catching up. It is to live as the author, not the character. It is to take authority over your inner state and refuse to be moved by appearances. Every moment you maintain this awareness, you are rewriting your destiny. So when you rise in the morning, act as if. When you speak, speak as if. When you walk, walk as if. Not as a mask, but as a revelation of who you truly are. Because the life you dream of is not something to chase. It is something to remember. You are already it. The moment you feel it, the universe bows to your conviction. Act as if you already have the life you dream of, because in truth, it already exists within you. The outer world is but a mirror of your inner awareness. You are not striving to create something new. You are awakening to what has always been yours in potential. The dream life is not outside of you. It is within, waiting for your recognition. The moment you accept it in imagination, it begins to clothe itself in form. You do not force it, you assume it. You don't wait to feel it, you feel it now. To act as if means to become so identified with the reality of your desire that doubt finds no place to live. It means to wake up and walk as the version of yourself who already lives that dream. You hold yourself in the state of the fulfilled wish, and from that state, life begins to rearrange itself. You don't need to know how it will happen. You only need to persist in the assumption that it already has. There is a subtle but powerful shift that takes place when you begin to act as if. You move from a state of wanting to a state of being. You no longer reach outward in longing. You turn inward in knowing. Wanting declares separation. Being declares unity. When you say, "I want to be happy," you affirm that happiness is apart from you. But when you act as if you already are happy, your subconscious accepts it as truth and begins to produce conditions that match that vibration. Everything in your outer world is a delayed reflection of your inner conversation. The moment you change that inner dialogue, you begin to alter your future. Speak as though it is done. Feel as though it is real. Live as though it is inevitable. Life responds to certainty, not to pleading. When you assume the end, you command the beginning to serve it. Imagine standing at the edge of your dream fulfilled. What does it feel like? What emotions rise within you when you know it is done? That feeling is your bridge. It connects the unseen with the seen. You must learn to stay faithful to that inner feeling, even when nothing seems to change. Because faith is not believing despite evidence. It is the evidence of things unseen. You are not pretending when you act as if you are creating. Pretending is empty imitation. Creating is divine imitation. Pretending hopes, creation knows. Pretending mimics, creation manifests. When you act as if from a place of deep conviction, you align your vibration with the frequency of your desire. Everything in this universe moves by law, and the law responds perfectly to your dominant assumption. It does not matter where you begin. What matters is the identity you choose to live from. If you wish to experience a new life, you must assume a new self. You must see yourself not as the one seeking change, but as the one who has already changed. The transformation does not happen in time, it happens in consciousness. The moment you shift within, time begins to conform to your new identity. When you assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled, something mysterious begins to happen. The world starts to echo your new state back to you. You may notice coincidences, chance encounters, and opportunities that seem to come out of nowhere. They are not random, they are reflections of your assumption. Every circumstance you meet is drawn from the invisible world of your belief. The outer always confirms the inner. There is no power outside of your consciousness. You are the operant power. You may pray, visualize, affirm, but the true change happens only when you assume. When you stop being the one asking and become the one who already possesses, the law of life begins to move on your behalf. Consider a person who has long desired success. They think, one day I'll make it. One day I'll live freely. But as long as one day exists, that day never comes. For consciousness only knows now. The law cannot act on a tomorrow. It can only respond to what you accept as true today. So instead of saying, I will be successful, declare within yourself, I am successful. Then act from that knowing. Walk, speak, and feel from that state. And the invisible currents of life will carry you to its visible expression. To act as if is to move in quiet confidence, not in loud desperation. It is to stop asking when it will come and start knowing it already has. The man or woman who acts as if their dream is real is not living in delusion. They are living in alignment. They have understood that the world is a mirror, and that to change the reflection, they must first change the image they project. If you could only understand how powerful your imagination truly is, you would guard it like sacred ground. Every mental picture, every feeling, every thought impregnates the invisible with form. When you imagine yourself as poor, weak, or unloved, you recreate those very states. But when you dare to imagine yourself as wealthy, powerful, and deeply loved, and you sustain that inner conviction, You summon those realities into being. The secret lies not in effort, but in acceptance. You do not have to fight for what is yours. You simply have to believe it into form. The world is not testing you. It is teaching you how to direct your awareness. The moment you stop looking at appearances and start living from imagination, everything begins to change. Suppose you are facing a difficult situation, perhaps lack of money, health issues, or loneliness. The natural impulse is to react, to resist, to worry. But if you truly understood the creative power within you, you would instead turn inward and dwell in the end. You would close your eyes and feel the reality of abundance, of healing, of love. You would dwell in it until it feels natural. That feeling, that inner certainty, is the secret password that opens every door. You cannot serve two masters, the visible and the invisible. You must choose which reality you will believe. The one who acts as if the dream is real has chosen the invisible as their truth. And soon the visible must obey, because this is a law: as within, so without. As you assume, so you experience. There will be moments when the old reality will test you. You will see no sign of change, and everything will tempt you to doubt. But those moments are your greatest opportunities. When the evidence contradicts your assumption, remain faithful. Persist. Keep acting as if, because your persistence is the proof of your belief. Every time you choose faith over fear, you deepen the roots of your creation. Think of a seed planted in the soil. You do not dig it up every day to check if it's growing. You trust the process. You water it. You protect it. You wait in quiet expectation. The same applies to your dream. The moment you plant it in imagination and feel it real, the process has begun. Doubt is like digging up the seed. Faith is letting it grow. To act as if is to keep your attention on the harvest, not the soil. It is to live in the consciousness of the result, not the process. You don't have to know how it will unfold. The how is not your business. Your business is the state. You remain faithful to the state of the wish fulfilled, and life itself handles the details. The more real the inner world becomes to you, the faster the outer will conform. Because the world is not separate from you, it is your reflection. There is only one reality, consciousness, and everything else is its shadow. So when you act as if, you are not playing pretend, you are awakening to the higher truth that imagination creates reality. Feel now what it's like to live your dream. Imagine waking up in the morning and realizing your desires have all come true. Feel the joy, the gratitude, the peace. Let it wash over you. Walk through your day with that silent knowing. It is done. The people around you may not understand, but the universe does. It responds to the vibration of completion, not of wanting. When you truly act as if, you stop chasing and start attracting. You move with ease because you are no longer seeking proof. You are the proof. The energy of fulfillment radiates from you, and it draws to you everything that matches it. Circumstances, people, opportunities, all begin to move in harmony with your inner state. You cannot deceive the law with empty gestures, acting as if must come from genuine feeling, not forced behavior. You can wear a confident smile and still carry fear in your heart. You can repeat affirmations and still dwell in doubt. What matters is not the words you speak, but the feeling you embody. Feeling is the language of creation. It speaks louder than actions, louder than thoughts. When you feel rich, even before you see the money, life mirrors that wealth back to you. When you feel loved, even before someone declares it, love appears. When you feel free, even before the chains fall off, doors open. Because feeling is the cause and the world is the effect. Every person you meet, every event you experience is drawn by the vibration you hold. The one who acts as if they already have their desire lives in gratitude, in peace, in quiet confidence. They are not desperate because they know the harvest is inevitable. They are not jealous because they understand there is no competition in creation. They are not anxious because they have seen the end and it is good. You can always tell when someone has begun to live from the end. Their energy changes. They stop complaining about the present because they have already claimed the future. They no longer talk about what they want. They talk from the perspective of what is done. Their faith is silent but powerful, and life begins to bend to their assumption. This is how creation works. You claim it in imagination. You feel it real, and you live from that feeling until the outer world mirrors it. The moment you shift within, the universe rearranges itself to match your new vibration. Sometimes quickly, sometimes gradually, but always faithfully. Act as if, and you will discover that everything you once prayed for is already within you. You are not becoming, you are remembering. You are not chasing, you are revealing. Life is not withholding anything from you. It is waiting for you to assume it is yours. Every great soul who ever achieved anything remarkable lived by this truth. They saw the invisible before the visible appeared. They walked by faith, not by sight. They held their vision so completely that the world had no choice but to catch up. You can do the same. You already are doing it, whether consciously or unconsciously. Every assumption you hold of who you are, what you can do, what life is, becomes the script your world follows. So choose your assumptions wisely. Choose to live in the consciousness of your highest dream. Feel it as real, think from it, walk in it. And when doubts arise, return to the feeling of the wish fulfilled. For in that sacred state, all things are possible. Keep acting as if you already have the life you dream of, until it no longer feels like acting, but simply living. Because that is the moment you will realize the truth. You were never waiting for your dream. It was always waiting for you to remember who you are. The dreamer, the creator, the power itself. So in the end, to act as if is to live in remembrance of your divine authorship. It is to know that every thought clothed in feeling becomes flesh. That every inner conviction shapes the outer world. When you hold the end with unwavering faith, the beginning is compelled to serve it. The world cannot resist a mind that has already decided. Do not wait for signs, do not beg for proof. You are the proof. Your imagination is the evidence. The moment you feel the reality of your desire, creation is complete. The rest is simply the unfolding of what you have already claimed within. Walk through your days in quiet confidence, carrying the fragrance of fulfillment. Let your tone, your energy, your actions reveal that you already live the life you once dreamed of. And soon the world will have no choice but to mirror back to you the vision you have faithfully held within. Live as if it's done, and it will be. Because the moment you act as if, you cease to dream and begin to create. You stop wishing and start becoming. And in that sacred becoming, the unseen becomes seen, the invisible becomes tangible, and the dream becomes your life.